Medical laboratories are always on the lookout for healthcare professionals who are willing to give their expert opinion on the latest medical breakthroughs. All Global Circle offers healthcare professionals the opportunity to shape the medical industry by participating in surveys that are relevant to their specialty. Receive $50 of sign-up bonuses and get paid for participating in studies by giving your opinion. Sign up today, impact millions of lives, and go to allglobalcircle.com. Welcome to the Happy Doc, the voice of fulfilled physicians, sharing life stories from physicians, health professionals, and entrepreneurs so that you can live your happy life. Who do you want to be? All right. Who do you want to be in life? Life, in my eyes, is kind of like this crazy canvas. For some reason, we're arriving on this planet Earth, right? We're born, and we have a set amount of time of our existence that we're here. Unfortunately, if we're going to be alive, that means we're unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever way you want to look at it, we're guaranteed to die. We're going to die. It's going to happen. And that could be a little bit morbid, but in fact, what I'd like to say is that space between birth and death offers a huge opportunity for us to paint this really beautiful picture of what we want our life to be, right? We can either paint it with us having really great moments, great friendships, great accomplishments, great relationships, building out a life that we enjoy, building out opportunities that we'd love to do, creating opportunities for other people, serving other people, enjoying that process. Or we can be down in the dumps. We can be depressed. We can hate our lives. We can look at the world negatively. We can paint this picture that our life was never worth it. We can be angry. We can hold on to shame. We can hold onto our frustration. Who do you want to be when you're painting this picture of life? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be someone that's appreciating the process, or do you want to be the person that really doesn't get the juice and the squeeze out of life? These are important questions, and really it's all based on our thinking. It's based on our psychology. It's based on our decisions, and it's based on how we want to choose to perceive or focus on this life. So I'm asking this kind of broad question as you're watching this or listening to this. Who do you want to be? What type of person do you want to be? How do you want to come across to other people? How do you want to develop yourself as a human being? Who do you want to be? It's a really powerful question, and not something that you answer quickly. But based on this idea of the type of person you'd like to be, based on the idea of like what you'd want to create for yourself, that's going to start to lead yourself towards a vision of what you imagine your life to be. When you close your eyes, when you imagine your optimal self, when you imagine a self that is living at a higher level, when you picture yourself being the best you, who is that? What does that person look like? How do you feel? What actions are you taking? What are you doing on a daily basis? Where do you imagine yourself being? These are all really important questions to ask. And I bring this up in the context of the COVID pandemic, right? COVID and what's going on with the election and what's going on in the world, social media, digital media, all these changes, all this stuff that's happening. It's all happening around us. But besides that, who do you want to be in the context of this stuff? Do you want to be the person that's going to take control? Do you want to be the person that's finding a way out of this really dark time for a lot of people? Or do you want to be the person that stays stuck? I don't know the question. I don't know the answer, right? These are questions to ask yourself. Who do you want to be? Super powerful. And again, I don't have the answers for you, but these are important reflections to think about of how you're going to handle this. How are you going to handle this time? Now, I want to talk a little bit about values. So if you're trying to work on yourself, if you want to entertain this process of working on yourself, of building yourself, of trying to look at life a little bit differently, you're going to want to think about what values you possess. What things are important to you? You know, as we go from, whether we grew up in a tough situation or we grew up in a normal family or what have you, we were raised on certain values. But as you become an adult and as you go through time, you have to develop certain values, ways you're going to operate in life that are important to you, things that you're looking for in your life, whether it's in a partner, a relationship, a business, your work environment. What things do you value? What things do you treasure? What are the things that really bring a lot of meaning to your life? For me, one of the things I value is serving other people. I get a lot of joy from that process. It's something I value. It's very important to me. So one of the values that I think is very important is service, to provide service on a daily basis, to provide value to other individuals on a daily basis. I know that helps me. I know that helps other people. So I find a lot of joy out of that. So what are certain things that you would say are your values? What are your core values? Things that are important to you. And that is going to start to guide the decisions you're going to make, right? So for example, a value might be being a strong leader, okay? You want to be a leader in your life. Leadership is important to you. Then you might want to describe what that actually means. What words or vocabulary describes you as a leader? What does that mean to you to be a leader? Right? If that's something you want to be in your life, a leader to your family, a leader in your business, a leader in your life, what does that mean? Start to define those things. Those are going to start to kind of trigger the ideas around what decisions you want to make on a daily basis to fit those values. So when I asked that question earlier, who do you want to be? Well, who you want to optimally be are going to be to meet certain things for yourself. What standards are you going to set for yourself? Right? So these are really important questions to ask. And this episode is kind of an overarching concept around this idea that, has been very tough for me as well. Again, in the context of the pandemic, everything going on with COVID, with all the craziness, I'm going to talk about this next thing right here, which is it's so important for us. It's even more important right now, absolutely more important for us to remove the garbage around us, removing the noise and focusing inward. These questions I'm asking about. Who do I want to be? What values do I have? It's so important to remove all of this crap, all this noise we're getting bombarded with, and asking ourselves what's actually important to us. So removing the noise, focusing inward to understand what's going to be important to us. What life do we want to lead? So that's going to lead me into this sort of next idea, which is lifestyle choices. So in life, we are going to be a reflection. What we have today is a reflection of all of the decisions we've made in our past, right? So our past decisions, our past thought processes, our past psychology, all of these things lead us to today, which is October 28th, 2020. Who are we today? What choices have we made? So those lifestyle choices, the decisions we made thus far has let us arrive to today. But who are we going to be from now on? Again, really powerful question. So I'm going to separate our lifestyle because what I absolutely love to talk about is how do we optimize our lifestyle? Who do we want to be? What lifestyle do we want to have? How do we want to, what is the process? What is the way in which we're operating through life, again, to enjoy this process as much as possible and to hopefully have some impact as well. So I'm going to separate this into two pieces. And those two pieces are going to be macro, our macro lifestyle choices, and micro. Okay. So when I say macro, these are often things that you might think about, like major accomplishments you'd like to get out in life, right? The things on your bucket list. Who do you imagine are going to be the people you want to surround yourself with? Where do you want to live? These big decisions. What does your finances look like in the future, right? Who do you want to be, right? But these big overarching decisions. Are you going to own one home? Do you want to have multiple homes? Do you imagine yourself being more mobile and living in sort of like this nomadic type of way? Do you imagine yourself being a world traveler? What are the macro types of things that you'd like to accomplish in your life, or at least in the next few years? These are really important questions to ask yourself, because if you do not know, if you don't have a vision, if you don't have an idea of the macro decisions, you're not going to know about the little micro steps you need to get there. So who do you want to be? What macro decisions do you want to do in the future? What do you want to set yourself up for in order to get there? These are all important questions to ask. Micro. So when I think about micro lifestyle, I'm thinking about the daily habits, the daily routines or lack thereof the daily actions that are going to get us towards those macro goals or towards that process of a really awesome lifestyle. So something for me that's really important is having really good energy, feeling fit, feeling like I am setting myself to feel good, right? So those little micro decisions that are going to get me there. So what sort of micro habits am I going to do? Well, I'm going to set myself up with good nutrition, right? So I'm going to create habits to try to get myself to have better nutrition. I'm going to set myself up for success by having habits and routines in place to exercise. I'm going to create micro decisions on a few goals I would like to accomplish in order on a daily basis in order for me to hit some macro goals in the future, right? So if I don't have those macro habits, those micro habits, those micro routines, those things that are going to get myself in a good state on a daily basis, I'm not going to reach those goals in the future where I might want to have myself in a better place financially, have myself in a better place in the future if I want to move somewhere or live somewhere or go travel. If we don't think about these things and we don't set ourselves up for success, we're not going to get there as fast. And if we don't even get there, if we're not in the pursuit of things that we enjoy, then what's the point? So all these questions, all these thoughts are very important. So in essence, when I talk about lifestyle choices, macro are the big goals you want to set for yourself, right? So when we think about macro, we're thinking about, these big decisions, right? Who do I want to be in terms of my finances? Who do I want to be in terms of where I live? Who do I want to be in terms of my relationships, whether you're looking for friendship, whether you're looking for a girlfriend or marriage or a boyfriend or what have you? Who do I want to be in terms of how many kids I might want to have? Who do I want to be in terms of what occupation I want to have? These are macro decisions. What does my life look like? The micro decisions, the micro lifestyle decisions is who am I going to be on a daily basis? Who am I going to be in terms of my actions that I take consistently? What does that look like? Okay. So all of this stuff encompasses these sort of lifestyle choices that are going to get back to the major question I asked before, which was, who do you want to be? Who are you and who do you want to be? And what are you going to do to get there? You're going to make value-based decisions. You're going to make lifestyle choices in terms of the macro and the micro. And especially now due to COVID, I want to recommend everyone removes the noise, remove all the garbage, remove all the bad media, try to reduce all the toxic relationships, the toxic information, toxic social media, toxic things that remove your time and your ability to act effectively. Remove all the noise, focus inward, and figure out who you want to be so you can make those decisions that are going to move you forward, move the needle on your personal life. Now, I'm going to finish today's discussion, or I guess monologue in this case, with this question. How do you want to serve? So a lot of these questions I've posed in the beginning, who do you want to be, all this stuff, it's in a way, it's very egotistical, right? It's about yourself. It's about you trying to find this amazing story about who you want to be, right? And that's a great start. And it's very important for you to be happy personally. But the next question I also want to ask is, once you've started to check all of the boxes, once you've met all of these requirements of who you think you're supposed to be, which is still important. It's very important to start to define that, to work through that, to process that, to take actions toward that. The next question is going to be, let's remove it about yourself. How do you want to serve? How do you want to give to other people? How do you want to give to society? How do you want to provide your legacy? What actions are you going to take to make a better future for yourself, your family, and for other people? How are you going to serve globally? So once you've figured out yourself, those tasks, those micro tasks, those macro tasks, those things you want to do for yourself, once you've achieved those things, I'll tell you, as you start to tick off those boxes, it doesn't feel as good anymore, because what happens is we start to forget about the inward and we start to look outward. How can we serve? So my question for you is while you're on this process of looking inward, what other things can you do to start to serve, provide value to other people, give back to your community, give back to other people in an effective way? How do you want to serve? Now, we can't do everything at once. And depending on where you're at when you're listening to this, this question might be easy to undertake or difficult. But these questions are important reflections in regards to how you want to look at your life from a different lens. So who are you going to be in this process, and how do you want to serve in order to be a more effective human, provide a legacy, provide to your family, provide to your friends, and be of value to others? What I often think is a challenge for a lot of people, and again, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I definitely am not perfect. What I'm trying to offer to you when I'm talking about this stuff is, how do we incrementally work ourselves up and be a little bit more effective in our life? How can we look at ourselves in the mirror and be proud of the things we did today? How can we say, like, wow, great job. Like, Taylor, great job today, right? Or whoever's listening or whoever's watching, great job today. You did an amazing job. I'm so proud of me, right? I'm so proud of the work ethic I did. Now, how do you want to serve? Wow, I'm so proud of what I gave to other people. I'm so proud of the results that they have. And so you have this reciprocal kind of relationship where you give to other people, and that gives to you, and you're giving to the community. And that's just an amazing thing, an amazing space to be in. So I want to highly recommend that with all of the noise that's happening out in the world, with all of the craziness, it's even more important to look inward, to decide on things that we'd like to accomplish, to, of course, be safe in this world. I'm absolutely social distance, wear your mask. You got to work by the rules of reality as it is right now. But at the same time, you can still act. You can still be a stronger person. You can still work on being a more intelligent person, being more compassionate, and finding ways to serve other people amongst the craziness, amongst the chaos. What I'm doing here by, just talking is a way that I feel like I can serve as well and offer my own personal thoughts on sort of managing lifestyle. So I'm going to open this up to questions and comments. I'm just going to kind of leave it open for a little bit, see if anyone has any questions in terms of lifestyle questions, in terms of lifestyle choices, in terms of macro choices, micro choices, thinking about values and how values are really important. But a lot of this stuff is really open-ended thoughts and reflections that I hope that as you listen to this episode, this is going to be something that you're going to want to look inward. Take that 5 to 10 minutes, maybe jot down some thoughts and think about, where you're at right now and where you want to go. That's super important. So great stuff. So I'm going to bring this comment up. Francis Yu says, great stuff. I relate to everything you say. Dr. Francis Yu, I appreciate it. I see all the great work, of course, you're doing. And I had the pleasure of talking to Francis on the Happy Doc podcast. There's different types of people on this journey, Francis. There's people that are here to kind of do a little bit of work on themselves, do a little bit more introspection, and try to get a little bit more juice out of life. And I really appreciate the people that are on that journey. So Francis, I appreciate you, man. And thanks for being on this journey with me. So I really want to thank everyone for, consistently participating, and being part of this process. It's really great to be in the podcasting world, and it's really great to do these live streams. And if anyone has questions about this stuff, has specific examples, I'd love to kind of hop on and discuss different ideas. But lifestyle decisions and thinking about how we're going to organize our life, thinking about ways to improve upon that process a little bit each day, working on ourselves from a macro level and a micro level. Those are really important concepts. So my ultimate goal is to help you enjoy the process of life more and look at yourself and say that you did this life in a way that you can be really proud of.
And that's the episode for today. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Happy Doc podcast. Again, this is a podcast that is going to inspire you as a physician, as a health professional, as an individual to be fulfilled in your life. So please look out for the other episodes in the Happy Doc. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a 5-star review on the podcasting application of your choice. You can also reach out to us by emailing thehappydoc1@gmail.com. I'll see you on the next episode.